Questions to ask before you hire a real estate broker to sell your home in Santa Fe. If you're thinking about selling your home in Santa Fe, here is something I need you to understand right away. Not all listing brokers market homes the same way. And in a market where buyers are incredibly visual, increasingly online, and now heavily influenced by AI-driven search results, the difference between average marketing and strategic marketing can literally mean tens of thousands of dollars. So today I'm going to walk you through the questions I believe every homeowner should ask before hiring a real estate broker to sell their property in Santa Fe. And more importantly, I'm going to explain why the answers matter, because the first few weeks on the market are critical. That is when your listing has the most momentum, the most visibility, and the best chance to create urgency with buyers. Hi, I'm Adrienne DeGuere with Sotheby's International Realty in Santa Fe. I help homeowners position their properties strategically so they perform at their highest level when they hit the market. Question 1, are you a full-time real estate broker? This may sound obvious, but it matters. You want to know whether real estate is their full-time profession and how immersed they are in the market. And here's another important question. How many transactions do you average per year? Because there is a big difference between occasionally listing homes and actively navigating the market every single day. A full-time broker is constantly monitoring buyer behavior, pricing shifts, showing activity, inventory changes, negotiation trends. That repetition and market exposure matters enormously when pricing and positioning your home. Question 2. How will you position my property to sell for the most money in the quickest amount of time? This is one of the most important questions you can ask. And honestly, if the answer sounds vague, that is a red flag, because great listing strategy is not accidental. I use what I call my orchestrated launch process. The goal is to maximize momentum during the first few weeks on the market because that is when buyers pay the most attention to a new listing. I do not rush a listing live before the proper foundation is in place. Before launch, I carefully research previous sales activity, previous listings, previous property history, historic status, legal descriptions, tax information, HOA or COA details, septic and well documentation. I also gather surveys, floor plans, improvement lists, utility information, transferable warranties, and anything else that helps buyers feel informed and confident. Then comes presentation. I carefully curate the order of the photography to tell a story and create emotional engagement. I write detailed photo captions so buyers understand exactly what they're looking at and why it matters. I optimize the property description using AI tools so the home has a stronger chance of surfacing in AI-driven search results. Because buyers are no longer just typing in Santa Fe homes for sale. They are searching things like Santa Fe homes with sunset views, Santa Fe homes with privacy and guest house, Santa Fe homes near hiking trails. And your listing needs to be positioned to respond to those kinds of searches. That level of strategy matters. And there are really two goals when positioning a property correctly. First, I need to make the listing attractive enough that buyers actually schedule a showing. But second, and this is incredibly important, I also need to make the property easy for brokers to write an offer on. That means gathering documents upfront, providing surveys if available, providing septic and well information, providing HOA or COA information, providing utility information, floor plans, improvement lists, transferable warranties, and anything else that reduces uncertainty for both the buyer and the buyer's broker. The easier I make the process for the cooperating broker, the smoother and faster the transaction often goes. Question 3, what marketing assets will you provide? This is a huge one because visuals are everything in modern real estate marketing. I personally invest my own marketing dollars into a comprehensive marketing package for my listings that include professional still photography, drone photography, a 3D virtual tour, a professionally shot property video, a floor plan with room dimensions, a dedicated property showcase website. I also create brochures, property information binders, and targeted broker marketing materials. Your home's first showing is usually online, and buyers are making decisions in seconds about whether they want to see your property in person. Presentation matters. Question 4. How will you market my property beyond the MLS? Putting a property into the MLS is not a marketing plan, it is just the starting point. Ask the broker, how will you expose the property beyond the MLS? I market listings across Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. I also conduct targeted broker outreach, including email blasts to the Santa Fe brokerage community, announcing the listing and updating them on important changes like price improvements. I utilize Sotheby's International Realty's global syndication network and digital partnerships to increase exposure both nationally and internationally. And because Sotheby's International Realty website has such a strong global brand recognition, particularly among affluent buyers and relocation clients, that expands the reach significantly. The brokerage matters, its visibility matters, its audience matters. And Sotheby's International Realty has one of the strongest global luxury real estate platforms in the world. Question 5. How tech savvy are you? This is increasingly important. Do they use FaceTime and Zoom? Are they comfortable communicating through text, phone, email, or video calls based on your preference? Can they effectively market homes online? Can they troubleshoot digital marketing issues? Can they communicate effectively with out-of-state buyers? Many of my clients are relocation sellers and buyers. I routinely conduct FaceTime showings and virtual consultations. Modern real estate requires modern communication skills. Question 6. Will I mostly work with you or a team? This is an important question. Some teams operate with many layers of assistants and showing brokers. There's nothing inherently wrong with that model, but you should know what to expect. In my business, sellers primarily communicate directly with me and my transaction coordinator once the property is under contract. That consistency matters, especially when important decisions need to be made quickly. Question 7. Will you represent me exclusively, or will you represent both the buyer and the seller in the transaction? This is an important question that many consumers do not think to ask. Some brokers are comfortable representing both sides of the transaction, meaning they represent both the buyer and the seller in the same sale. I personally have made the decision not to work both sides of a transaction. I would rather have my clients' full trust, because the truth is a broker cannot be exclusively in your corner if they are also representing the other side. There is naturally a loss of trust when clients feel their broker may have divided loyalties. I prefer clear advocacy and full representation for my clients. Question 8, will you hold open houses? This depends somewhat on the property and your comfort level. Open houses are not always the magic bullet people think they are, but they can absolutely create additional exposure and momentum in the right situation. I discuss open house strategy individually with each seller. And if desired, I market open houses through the MLS, social media, broker outreach, and additional marketing channels. Question 9, can you give an example of a time you went above and beyond for a seller? You absolutely should ask this question, because this is where you learn how a broker handles challenges. Here is one of my examples. The homeowner passed away unexpectedly. The heir had never seen the home and was unable to come to Santa Fe during the process. Pricing the property was extremely challenging because it was a custom build in a neighborhood with mostly standardized floor plans. There were no direct comparable sales that truly supported the finish level and quality of the home. So I strategically positioned the property to create urgency immediately upon launch. The result was a bidding war almost immediately after the property hit the market. The accepted offer included over asking price, an appraisal gap, inspection contingencies waived, a free post-closing occupancy for the seller to accommodate an estate sale, and importantly, the property appraised successfully, in part because of the competing offers demonstrating strong market demand and value. The seller's heir never had to come to Santa Fe. I even went to the post office personally with special paperwork to arrange forwarding the deceased homeowner's mail to the heir. That is the kind of hands-on problem solving and advocacy that often happens behind the scenes in real estate. Question 10. How will you communicate with me during the listing? Communication is one of the biggest complaints consumers have about real estate. You should ask, how often will I hear from you? Will I receive showing feedback? Will I receive activity reports? How quickly do you respond? For my sellers, communication is ongoing. After showings, I request feedback from the showing brokers and relay that information to the seller. I provide weekly marketing reports with online activity data, showing updates, and we have pricing discussions throughout the listing period, because sellers should never feel left in the dark. Question 11. Can you recommend service providers who can help me obtain a mortgage, make repairs, and help with other things I need done? This is one of the most practical things that becomes incredibly valuable during a real estate transaction, especially in a market like Santa Fe where finding reliable vendors can sometimes be challenging. You want a broker who has built strong relationships with reputable local professionals. Over the years, I have built and continuously updated a preferred provider list that is now over 20 pages long. That includes lenders, roofers, stucco contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, handymen, inspectors, septic companies, landscapers, cleaners, movers, and many other service providers. And I constantly update the list based on feedback I receive from clients about their experiences with those vendors. Having trusted resources can make the entire process much smoother and far less stressful. Question 12. What additional education and designations do you have? In New Mexico, brokers are required to complete 36 hours of continuing education every 3 years just to maintain their license. That is the baseline. Beyond that, I have invested heavily in additional education and I hold the following designations: Santa Fe Specialist, Certified Residential Specialist, Accredited Buyer Representative, Senior Real Estate Specialist, Seller Representative Specialist, and Real Estate Negotiation Expert. Each required additional coursework and specialized training. Because this business is constantly evolving, and I believe continuing education matters, especially in a nuanced market like Santa Fe. Question 13. Can you explain your pricing strategy? Pricing strategy is everything. And pricing is not just math. It is psychology, it is positioning, it is timing. I conduct detailed comparative market analysis and look carefully at things like competing listings, pending sales, sold properties, buyer demand, days on market, property uniqueness, condition and finish level. Properties typically receive the most attention during the first few weeks on the market. Overpricing can reduce momentum and ultimately lead to lower final sales price after multiple reductions. Strategic pricing is critical. At the end of the day, hiring a listing broker is much more than just putting a sign in the yard. You are hiring someone to strategically position your home, market it effectively, advocate for your interests, negotiate strongly, guide the process from beginning to closing, and ideally make a very stressful process feel far more manageable. If you're thinking of selling your home in Santa Fe and want to talk through strategy, pricing, and how to position your property effectively in today's market, I would love to connect with you. And if this video was helpful, like and subscribe so you can continue learning how real estate in Santa Fe actually works. I will see you in the next one.